Hi everyone. So today we will be discussing about task 1 for academic IELTS. Now, task 1 for academic IELTS is basically report writing, and we get visual information. It can be in different forms. I will be discussing the forms, and you just get some visual information which you have to study, understand, evaluate, compare, and then you have to write a 150 words, not less than 150. So 150 words report on the information given to you. Now let's see the examples of the visual information that is given to you in task 1. So it can be a bar chart, or a line graph, or a pie chart, or table, or a diagram, or a map. You see, you get information in different forms, and the point to remember here is, or the things to focus on are, number one is accuracy matters a lot. So because report writing is something which is technical, a technical term, so what you have to take care of is that when you are writing a report, it has to state the facts. Next thing you have to remember is you do not have to draw any conclusions on your own. For example, often when we look at an image or something, some sort of information, then we try to conclude something out of it. For example, if we saw some increasing trend or decreasing trend, we start imagining that this would happen because of this reason. So we start relating things. But in task 1 for IELTS, you don't have to do that. Another thing is very important, you need to pick up major changes, major points, like if there's a graph or a table or whatsoever, you just need to see the high points, the low points, or in the intermediate, whatever variations are happening and how fast or slow those variations are. Because you can get information which is very vast. It could be a data of almost 50 years. So if you start elaborating each year or each point, you will not be able to complete your task in 20 minutes. Plus, you will not be able to conclude the information in 150 words. So we have to keep all these things in mind, that we have to stay in the word limit. Also, we need to stay in the time limit. Now, what are the points where you will be losing marks or where you can lose a point is if you leave out the important data. For example, if you forget to write about the high point or the low point, or something which is very unique about, or there's a total, or there's some sort of unique information given, if you miss out that important point or data. Or another thing, if you are not using numbers and percentages, like if something is given, then you must write about it. You just can't simply say that it was high, it was low. So you need to explain it was high by 10%, or it increased by 10%, or it reached 90%, or something like that, for example. Now, another point where you will lose a point is another reason is if you speculate reason. As I told you, like if you keep discussing, okay, this increase maybe because this might have, you don't have to use maybe, might, something. No, nothing. We don't have to explain what happened, what had happened, what would have happened. No, nobody cares about it. All you need to say is this happened in this year, this happened in this year. You don't have to give the because behind it. Do not speculate reasons. Then do not add any irrelevant or extra information just to increase your word limit. Trust me, the way I'm going to explain how you can write. So if you just follow that pattern, you will easily achieve 150 words. You don't have to go and write something irrelevant which is not related to the topic at all. If you don't write 150 words, that is another place where you can lose a point. Now, let's just look at the basic template or a format which you can use to do the writing task 1 for academic. If you'll see, I have divided it in 2 different formats. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is introduction, where you paraphrase the question. Paraphrase means just writing the question in your own language. Then you write a body 1, that is paragraph 1, where you talk about a few comparisons. Then you move on to body 2. Then you talk about the further comparisons, just to elaborate information. And then you make a conclusion, that is you write about the main takeaway. So now this sort of pattern or this sort of format or template can be used for a writing task in which information is given to you which can be concluded in any way. For example, a graph or a pie chart or a table which has a total, something like that, or any sort of information which can be concluded. So you will write a conclusion. But in writing task 1 for academic, we get diagrams, we get cycles, we get processes as well. So for those sort of questions where you see there is no particular end to the process or there is no particular conclusion, but there's an overview. So in that case, you must use a different template. That is, you need to give the introduction, same, you need to paraphrase the question, but then you give a general idea of what is happening. So you just write that in an overview. Then you will write the first paragraph, make comparisons, then write the another paragraph, make comparisons, but you don't have to write any conclusion. So you need to use one. You need to just try and understand the data given to you, information given to you, that is this information concluded, or is this information is just a general idea? It's just a general idea where you can just give a generalized overview. So you need to identify that. Once you identify, you can use either of the template which is best suitable. But why I classified is just to make it easy for you to understand. So this is pretty much an overview of writing task for academic, and what we'll do in the next coming sessions is we will be discussing each type of question. So there are like 6 to 7 types of visual information in which they are represented. So we are going to take all those questions and all the possible combinations, and we will be discussing them one by one just to understand how to write answers for each kind of information given to you. So I'll see you in the next video. By the time, if you have any questions, you can just reach out to me, you can comment, you can email it to me. I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you. Bye-bye.